Yeah, we've got some.
You are out, Commissioner.
All right, Bannock County Commissioners are in session. Today is Thursday, August 7th. We do need to amend the agenda. We had one cancellation, and then we have one addition with Shanda Crystal to provide a procurement update, or not update, but a procurement issue, so.
Also an executive session for.
Oh, that's true, and we do have an executive session also that was amended, so those two items
Personnel.
to talk about personnel. Thank you.
I'd make a motion that we accept the amended agenda.
We have a motion. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
With that, let's start with Kindy and Chief.
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we go into the Board of Ambulance.
Oh, okay, we have a motion to go into Board of Ambulance. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
It's me again.
How are you?
Good morning, Commissioners. Ryan Ahern, Bannock County Ambulance and Pocatello Fire Department.
Candy Cannon, ISU rodeo coach. I've got to meet with you guys once this year already. So
Yeah.
I'm back. I would not be here if I didn't really need to be here. I'll be 100% honest.
Geez, we're offended.
So Kindy and I are here this morning. The ISU Rodeo has submitted an ambulance standby request for September 12th and 13th for 2 days, 3 different sessions over those 2 days, a Friday night session and 2 sessions on Saturday, for a total of 9 hours to have an ambulance standby at their rodeo. ISU Rodeo Club has submitted a request for a fee waiver. The estimated cost for the ambulance standby for 9 hours is $1,530. I did submit a cost breakdown earlier this morning. I'm not sure if you received it.
Yeah.
That was there.
Okay. And so generally when we staff these, we try to do it with a mix of on-duty personnel and call-in personnel. And so we will have at least an overtime exposure for this ambulance standby of $675. And if we had to staff the entire event with overtime, it would be $1,350. Right now, our overtime budget is trending low, so we are in a position where we could absorb that cost if you chose to grant us requests.
Okay.
I would be open for any questions for either myself or if Kindy has anything to add.
Yeah.
How's the rodeo season going?
You know, we're getting ready to go full-fledged ahead again. So we finished with the college finals in June. For the first time in 75 years, the men's team won the region, which was a huge win. Women's team dominated also. We had a really good showing at the college finals. This is going to be kind of a newer set. The biggest thing is like our rodeo costs. Like last year, it cost me $34,000 to host our home rodeo for 2 days. And trying to give more to the kids, and then with our estimated budget cut not being even close to where it really ended up, we are about $69,000 in deficit and having to come up with it. And so I'm looking for, honestly, any way to still provide a great rodeo for the community, incoming schools, colleges, stuff like that, and our hometown in general, but also not break the bank. And so there's just little things like this. Like I have never actually done this. The coaches before me would come in and do it, and I work in the medical field as well, so I have huge respect for them being there and like to rely on them. But the biggest thing is any way that there is to help kind of cut down on little costs, things like that. Like it all adds up in a big way for me to even continue to have a team next year. So this is the main reason I am here.
Okay.
Can I ask you a couple questions?
Go ahead.
How many total teams are coming in?
There is 10 different colleges and universities from Idaho. We've got some from Colorado, Utah. There's about 250 contestants.
Okay, where are they staying?
They stay in local hotels right here, usually La Quinta, Red Lion. They dine here, they eat here, they come in Friday, and then we stay in Bannock County.
Do they come in RVs?
Most of them will just bring gooseneck horse trailers. Some of them will bring living quarters. A lot of them stay at the Bannock County Event Center and hookups and things like that.
That was one question.
Yep, all their horses, so last year I think it was like 220 stalls that are used during our weekend of our rodeo there at the facilities.
So are they charged any stall fees?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's
Yep.
That's the point that I was hoping you would make, because we do benefit from that kind of an event in ways we can't measure, but we can measure the RV cost or revenue that we have here, stall rentals. And so, for my personal thing, that's how I present that too, is how Pocatello, how Bannock County benefits from that. So, thank you.
100%.
Commissioner?
Well, I think this is just a step up from high school rodeo, having high school rodeo up there and providing the facilities and stuff, and then encouraging these kids to come to Pocatello, come to Bannock County, go to school, the whole bit. My only request is that you continue to advertise and that we're part of that advertisement of Bannock County and the ambulance district supporting and being a big part of this.
Absolutely.
So you're really saying upfront, the real hard cost is the $600 and some dollars?
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, I don't have any questions. I'll go ahead and make the motion that we go ahead and sign that agreement and waive the fee.
Okay, we have a motion. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
Have a great event. Good luck.
Thank you guys. I'm
Thank you
hoping
very
you
much.
guys come. Scott's supposed to bring you guys tickets.
I was gonna say, have we been invited?
Yeah, he's supposed to bring you tickets because we're gonna feed you guys with Texas Roadhouse and stuff too, so.
Well, we're there then.
When you're there.
No, we're glad to have you guys up there, so thank you.
I appreciate it, I
doing that.
appreciate it. Thank
Chief,
you guys for
your help with
everything.
this.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we go out of the Board of Ambulance and back in the Board of Commissioners.
Did you guys supposed to sign this one?
Oh, no, we missed that. Okay, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Seth?
Seth Scott, District 6 Juvenile Detention Center. I'm here to request for mileage reimbursement for Lori Spencer, the Juvenile Detention Center's management assistant. She attended a conference in Boise last week for school lunch program reimbursements. And she wanted to spend an extra day with her daughter up there and doing kind of significant travel around the area. Didn't want to use a county vehicle for that. So we're requesting for her to be able to be reimbursed for a personal vehicle.
One-way mileage still, right?
Yes, that's what's on the paper. So this already happened?
Yeah, yeah.
So we got this backwards?
Yes, it's backwards. I told her, I said, look, if it doesn't happen, then, we'll reimburse you for just your gas. So,
We
don't do that.
Yeah, we can't do that either.
Okay, well.
But, I mean, we actually have done this in the past, but the key thing here is it's ahead that you get permission, not after.
Yes, I understand that.
It looks like it's just one way on the miles,
Yeah.
so. Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and make that motion that we go ahead and authorize that reimbursement
Okay.
for one way.
We have a motion. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be ahead of it next time.
Hey, you'll give Lori the business.
Thank you.
All right, Wes?
Wes Jones, Office of Emergency Management. And what we've got today is one of those kind of sort of within these parameters, and we're hoping but maybe not type of deals. So there's been a continual upheaval with the Idaho Office of Emergency Management, and from the very get-go from this year, and that's where we're at right now. Normally, when we receive the notification of funding opportunities for our Homeland Security grants, we get those, and it's just a pass-through from the state. And what the state has done in the past is they would respond to those notification of funding opportunities to the feds, in which they identify the areas that they've got as priorities to meet the national priority assignment areas. And it's based upon the state FHIR, which is a Threat Hazard Identification and Risk Assessment. And that's how they determine where those funds are going to go. So normally, when the state of Idaho would receive those funds from Homeland Security, they would then put them in different project areas, and they're set-asides. So there's a percentage that goes to election security. There's a percentage that goes to the Fusion Center support. There's a percentage of those funds that goes to cybersecurity. The cybersecurity conference that IOM hosts every year, that's where those funds come from. So there's a lot of those set-asides that go from that. And the state maintains those funds, and what they normally do is, once they get the funds, they'll determine how much money goes to the 44 counties and the 5 tribes in Idaho. That amount is based upon a population dispersion model. So those counties that have higher population areas will get more funding than those that don't. So Ada County gets almost millions of dollars, and Custer County and Lemhi County, who really needs the funds, doesn't get much of anything. So it's that population dispersion model that they distribute those funds. They determine how much each county would receive or each tribe would receive, and they'd let us know. Then they'd give us the guidelines to establish the project amount of funds for placement in the different areas that we identified. So with those, we still have to meet the intent of Homeland Security and the guidelines of the State Office of Emergency Management. So with our funds, there's a percentages that goes to local law enforcement support. 35% has to definitely go to local law enforcement support. There's a small percentage that goes to cybersecurity type functions. And then so what we've done in the past is, once we receive those amounts from the state, we work with the state of Idaho and the area field officer to park those funds in different projects based upon the input from the state and the input that we have from the public safety departments and where usual needs are. And for the last several years, we've been using 4 or 5 different project areas. And so, keeping that in mind, what the state's requesting this time, which is a new event, is they want our input and say where we're going to park the funds for those projects and how much we're going to park in those project areas. So it's a total role reversal in what's going on. And so, putting us behind the 8 ball and the time constraints to get this information back to them, I'm proposing we use the same projects that we've done in the past, and not knowing how much we're actually going to receive, we still want to park those projects and a tentative amount in those areas. Does that kind of sort of make sense?
Just ARPA. I mean, you gotta name the project and where you're putting the money and what's going on with it. I mean, that's what we had to do with ARPA.
So upon award, the commission would like notify them how the monies will be spent and authorize that?
Kind of the buckets.
Yeah, and so for the top one is the citizens' awareness and emergency preparedness, prevention, response measures to educate the public on what to do prior, during, and after emergencies, and that includes those types of things like community trainings, health fairs, safety fairs, EP fairs, those type of events, flyers, alerts, the brochures that we put out and the brochures that we provide and to the different public safety departments. That's $5,973.60. It may be higher, it may be lower, we don't know, but that's part of that public engagement and that process. The second area is enhanced cybersecurity program, and that's where the funds we have available for not only Adam's IT efforts, but the other public safety agencies' IT needs as they come up. And so what we like to try to do is run everything through Adam regardless, because I don't know half the acronyms and terms and stuff that they use there. And that's $7,765.68. And the biggest area is develop, enhance interoperable communication systems. and this is the one that seems to be confusing for a lot of people when we talk about interoperable communications, because that's the standards, the protocols, the technologies, the data systems that link together. So that's inclusive of cell phones, landlines, radios, cameras, system operations, those types of things. That's all inclusive in that interoperable communication. So a lot of the things they're doing with next generation 911 and being able to text images and the text capability, that's all part of that interoperable. And with that, it's tied into the 35% that we have to obligate to local law enforcement. So that amount is always the highest, which is $85,732. And that's primarily because our agencies don't have the funds to purchase the radios, and the radios will range anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 per radio. The fourth area is to establish enhanced sustainable training programs, and that's the funds that we use to provide not only ICS type training, but to support the local communities and those entities that have the need for training and where those requests are coming, and we get those funds to help them because they don't have it. And then the last one is to $15,000, which is to establish enhanced emergency plans and procedures. And that goes back to the things that we're doing with South County Public Safety Departments and utilizing that support and service from Southeast Idaho Continuity of Council of Governments, so we can help them with their grants, their technical writing, some of the reports. And a lot of the things that we're finding on the submission for grants, we have a huge weakness in report writing. A lot of the agencies, to actually justify and quantify your need, you have to justify and establish your existence. So if we have agencies who are responding to incidents and not following up with any reports, we can't apply for grants. We can't help them to help themselves. And at the same time, if we have those same agencies that aren't sitting down and doing a critique or a debrief of how the response went and identify those areas of improvement, it makes it difficult for us to justify the funds that we need for the expenditures to support capacity building in the county. So with that being said, we're going to provide the same template of what we provided last year and see where it goes from there. Keeping in mind that the numbers are going to change, the format for submittal is going to change because they got different codes that they want to track things back to the national priorities. And so it's a matter of learning a new system and realigning the old systems and what we've had to make that transition to what's moving forward.
Okay.
Questions?
My only question on that is, instead of submitting a dollar amount, why don't we just do percentages? If we don't know how much money we're gonna get, or whether it's more or less, if we just submitted percentages and,
Because they asked for dollar amounts. And
if you don't know what you're getting, how do you?
And I understand and I agree with you 100%, but that's the problem that we have to do, is where IOEM is the granting agency and they tell us how they want it, what they want it to look like. So we try to comply with their intent and their requirements. It'd be easier if we had, when we know.
So those are the numbers that we had last year.
Yes, sir.
I'd increase them numbers and ask for more.
So what was the total dollar amount? I was adding that, I come up to 110, some plus, there was a 5, a 7, an 85, and a 15 that you spouted out, so just curious if they're.
119, 472.
Okay. I mean, just for a reference point, I think we ought to at least note that number, that's tentatively a number we're looking at.
Yeah, and
And there's no match.
there's no match on these also.
In the past, how many road radios have you helped provide with this stuff?
Oh, wow. Quite a few. Adam, do you have an?
Oh, I have no idea of the number.
We have
So
them all
it-
on inventory.
I just know I've received a couple phone calls from a couple volunteer fire departments that Wes has helped out with radios and such, and so just,
What we've done is for like North Bannock County, we've picked up probably 10. Pocatello Valley, 8. And then we also gave them some of the refurbished ones. And then for Lava, they're looking at 3 or 4, still waiting on that bid. McCammon and Income, I think it's been about 8. But they're still short. And so they have to have the radios in the vehicles as well as the handhelds. And so what they're trying to do is use the handhelds in the vehicles. But the amounts, Commissioner Bullock, in 2024, we got 119,472. 2023, we had 126, 879 and 97 cents. 2022, it was 122, 137.97, and 2021, it was 98,724 and 35 cents. So the amounts fluctuate based upon what the feds decide they're going to get, and then the state pulls the funds from there for what they determine they need for those different projects. And some of the funding areas were put in place and then were taken away. So one of the newest withdrawals from the national priority areas was the community involvement and community engagement funding. So last year we received quite a bit of money. I think it was about 9,000. The year before that it was like 57, right around there. This year they're pulling it back and taking that off the table because of their priorities.
In light of what Commissioner Hoff said, it would be, and with Christie, to just do an annual audit of where those radios are to make sure they're still in a system somewhere. We hear of all kinds of stuff about equipment disappearing. So I would, if that's where a lot of these funds are going to, it'd be nice to, at least on an annual basis, check the inventory you have with what we have on the books, just to make sure we're accountable, and so is everybody else, for all of the use of these equipment.
Yeah, and we do that currently. So all of the equipment we do purchase, we put a property tag number on it. We track the serial number. Everything's registered through Adam's office because that's how we keep the radios operational, so we know which ones are activated and which aren't.
They have to be paid a subscriber fee to be on the statewide system.
Yeah.
So we can get and I get one every 6 months of what radio equipment's still being utilized. So we can do that. We do that.
Thank you.
And we also have an annual audit on
Yeah.
this grant that they're pretty consistent about coming in and
Good.
looking at everything.
Yeah. We might be complaining about a lot of things, but we can be accurate that way, so, okay, thank you.
okay, any further questions?
What's your name?
What's my name?
When he said Commissioner Hoff, I just thought.
I thought the same thing.
Side joke.
He was announced a little different down at the
Yeah.
fair the other
He
day.
came back with a different name.
That announcer was from California.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. There's just, yeah, never.
There's 4 people in this room that think it's
Yeah,
funny.
that's a side story. Okay.
All right,
I'd go ahead and make a motion that we approve filing for this grant.
all right, we have a motion, any further discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, go do great things, Wes.
Okay, thanks for your time.
Thanks. Dylan? Got me by surprise on that.
What?
Morning,
Dylan?
Dylan Evans, landfill manager. Before you guys is the same contract for the trommel screen that you guys signed before. had a little snafu changing the screens, and we missed our window, so they wanted us to update the dates. So I brought it back before you guys.
And these will be the dates you need insured, because that's
Yeah, we have a section blacked out on the insurance. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, that was an indemnity clause that needed to be removed.
Okay. All right, any questions on this one? Okay, I'd move we go ahead and approve the rental agreement with Mountain West as presented. Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Let's see. Christie.
That one should just be signature only. It is, sorry, Christie Claus Comptroller. It is a signature on check request
check
for
request.
grant match on the AFG grant. If we get this grant in the future, I'd love to change how we're doing this. Just simply because City of Pocatello is currently paying for certain items above and beyond the labor and benefits. And we need to pay those in the future, but some of this is also labor and benefits. It's the AFG grant that the commission's already approved. This is less of a match than we thought we were gonna have because we're not gonna spend the entire budget.
So the amount of the match is $7,067.86. Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay. Any questions on that, John?
I'll make the motion, we go ahead and authorize that signature.
All right, we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Shanda.
Good morning, Commissioners. Shanda Crystal, Chief Procurement Officer. I have one item before the board today, and that is to discuss and review a potential change order with Headwaters for the YDC to abate the demolition of the old Event Center office. We've been talking about this for a couple different periods, and I am thrilled to present this one to the board, that Headwaters, right, had been back and gotten additional bids in order to do this work for us. The last one we had was not to exceed 10. The new one that I would recommend the commissioners approving is from Abatement Services, and that is for a total of $5,862.
We'll take that.
I'm gonna send her back one more time. I mean, she went from 45 to 10 to now we're at 6. I mean,
That is
We
doing
are
due
running out.
diligence, asking the right questions and
Headwaters
saying,
done.
whoa.
Yes, they've done a fantastic job,
Thank
and we
you.
really appreciate that partnership. I did want to point out, as we discussed last time, right, a certified asbestos supervisor is required because of the square footage. That is listed on the scope of work here. This will, though, include waiving the landfill fee charges. I didn't know if that needed to be separate in like a motion or something, but.
We'll include that then.
Okay. In rough guesses, we are anticipating 1 to 2 dumpsters of just the abated material is the only piece that we would be asked to waive those landfill fees for.
So this proposal that we have in here, if we sign that, then we're good, or you just?
So it's going to come through a change order with Headwaters is what it's going to do. So my request to the board today would be to make that motion, if approved, to waive the landfill fees. So then we're compliant with the scope of work as listed here. And then ask Headwaters to go back and submit a change order like all the other ones that they've had. I would ask that the board approve signatures on that change order once it's prepared. It might take them tomorrow, maybe Monday before it gets done, but that would be my request to the board today.
So just for motion purposes, we would potentially make a motion to approve a potential change order for the demolition in the amount not to exceed $5,862.
Sorry, for the abatement.
For the abatement, excuse me.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
abatement.
And waive.
And waive
Oh,
the
yes.
landfill fees
Yes.
associated with such demolition, said demolition.
Was that your motion?
Do you agree with that?
With said abatements.
With said
yes.
abatement.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are not waiving the landfill fees for the demoltion and
Just for the
disposal of the
abatement.
building.
Okay.
I'm not
Just
gonna
the-
restate that.
Well, then, we'll
As
make
long as
that.
Nancy's got that. we're good.
Nancy, are you okay with? Okay. So that is my motion then. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Perfect, we'll get this done.
Shanda,
And I
could you
gotta
please
give-
give me a copy of the change order?
I gotta give Kyle a little bit of credit here,
Yes.
because he was in the meeting that we talked about the 45,000 and then called and we had a discussion and went to the next step and then the next step and it just promoted and advanced this thing, so
Yes,
thanks for paying attention and having a suggestion.
yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, at this point in time, I would move that we go into executive session under Idaho Code 74-2061E to discuss preliminary negotiations involving a matter of trade. And then after that, I would move that we stay into executive session under Idaho Code 74-2061A and B for personnel items. And then when we come out of executive session, then we will discuss the things that discussed in there.
Commissioner Bullock,
Yes.
Commissioner Moser,
Yes.
Commissioner